Hello peoples, one and all. This is Zyrinthian here, and once again, welcome back to Roleplay Radio. I'm joined once again by Rocker.
Hi.
And Mr. Duck.
Hi. Really?
I have no words. Fuck off, both of you. Anyway, so...
Hey!
As we last left off, our wonderful hero Fred, he broke everything. And for those of you who are still unaware that haven't watched this special, definitely go ahead and do that. It kind of sums up everything that's happened to this point from Death's point of view. Fred broke everything. So you'll have to pardon any inconsistencies because the last dimension that we had was inhabited by a very meh Fred. So we had to throw the whole universe away and get a new one. So any inconsistencies, ignore them. But if you're probably here and still listening to this garbage, you're probably just here for the dirty humor and don't care about consistency anyway. So, with that being said, what we have is...
Oh! Sorry guys, I just had to masturbate for the 19th time for the day.
Yeah, I know it's usually 20, so just hit your limit.
Yeah,
okay, Fred?
Yeah, I will, don't worry. Alright, continue, fuckface.
Yeah, so as we fuck you later, no. Ever. Not ever.
Do you want me to bend over or shall you? You know what? You know what? You bend over because my dick's bigger than yours.
I'll just shove a futon up your ass. How about that? Okay. So, as we left off, as you can obviously tell, the fourth wall was broken, and now all of the characters that were inside and outside of this entire existence know that they exist and know that we exist. So, say hi to the lovely people, all our wonderful characters.
Hi. I'm Fred.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
No, shut.
Someone tell Fred to piss off.
Keep talking, please.
Hey.
I love to hear.
Hey, Butter. You want to have a three-way with me, you, and Mr. Duck? No!
Have you heard
As you can see, whenever Rocker laughs, she squeaks.
I don't always squeak.
And
Just most of the time.
You're a mom.
Have you heard, though, Rocker's writing a fanfic about you and me, Fred? We're going to have to act it out, you know that, big boy.
I'm looking forward to it.
You'd best be.
Fred goes over and kisses Golden Butter on the cheek, seductively.
Not in public, please. There's some things that are meant to be behind closed pancakes.
Oh.
Okay, this is getting... I'm glad I'm not the only one that's being disturbed by this. Okay, we really need to figure out how to fix this dimensional rift that we have right now, because this is not meant to be. Can we all just go back to my lab real quick?
I'm too busy fangirling.
Oh dear. There's a fangirl in our midst now. I thought I killed all of those off.
Boy!
Both the letter, yes.
Okay, calm down, Death, and calm down, Rocker. You're perfectly fine. Death just in a bad mood right now.
Of course I am. He broke my entire cataloging system. Now we're gonna have to kill things in order to get things back in order.
And I also broke Purgatory.
Yeah, congratulations, not.
Thank you. Where's my medal and my trophy? I deserve a standing ovation.
All of a sudden...
I deserve everything!
All of a sudden, for no apparent reason, a crowd materializes behind you and begins clapping at the top of their lungs. So, these 1,200 people that just materialized for the clapping, however, they simply start wandering off in every direction, looking as if, why are we here? Why are we clapping? As it appears that they were simply there for a prop gag and nothing else.
It sounded like you said bapping instead of clap first time.
Did somebody say fap?
Oh dear.
Shut up, Fred.
Fred gets a boner and he begins to masturbate again. For the 28th
No, not
There's
now, Fred.
Bit.
Can we just not right now? Can we just listen to the doctor for once?
And
Agreed.
And because of the pressure, Fred is unable to finish. In fact, he actually comes early, and it's unsatisfactory, and he He shoots one of the random crowd people who's walking around.
Okay, that person's now dead.
How he continues to shoot them until all of them are dead.
Okay, okay. So, with the mass genocide that you just committed now out of the way, Fred, we're going to have to listen to the doctor for a little bit, as, you know, with plot lines and story and everything, because you want to get to be an awesome, overpowered character. So, we're going to try and get you there.
Okay.
Yeah, because you committed mass genocide again.
And you've already finished your 20th masturbation for the day, so this would be the perfect time to get this out of the way. Now, will you please just step into my office? He throws down a large teleporter pad directly in front of him and zips straight up into the air in a pile of digits, and supposedly rematerializes in his lab, possibly inviting you to do the same.
Fred does so.
Okay, you step through, and what looks like one of those fantastic sci-fi teleportation scenes. You're flying through the stars, back down again, bouncing off a satellite, and land directly in the middle of the doctor's laboratory. And now, if you would step this way, please. He's already clear across the lab and working on something.
Fred.
This is something that... Go ahead.
Fred flails as he runs towards the doctor.
Okay.
You're spanking?
And then he spanks himself.
Oh, come on, it's not satisfactory unless the doctor does it.
Fred bends over.
Fred
bends over and references the doctor to spank him.
I don't have a doctorate in that. I do not have a doctorate in that, and I'm not going to give you a prostate exam either. Now, if you...
What about a colonoscopy with your penis?
I was about to say yes until you added that last bit.
Can we just get on with this?
Death continues from right behind. That's not the way it sounded. I'm sorry, Death. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't kill you, but I would.
Okay, just calm down. I've got this under control. Anyway, so
I'm enjoying this.
Of course you are. Okay, so we've got this Weird Al Pancakeovich pile, and Golden Butter's also managed to follow through. So, what do we have here, Doctor? If you will please continue. Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to give me a segue. This right here is a list. It's, well, not so much of a list as it is a complete compilation of all the Freds throughout the multiverse that have suddenly popped through into our dimension. Now, if my calculations are correct, the only thing holding this massive shattering in the fourth wall together is these 6 different Freds that we need to find and either destroy or send back to their own dimension. Because there can only be one Fred, as we all know, in every single dimension. Which means that probably somebody's going to have to voice every single different Fred. And yes, there's a female one, so we know who's voicing that one.
Oh.
Everyone looks to Rocker.
I'm so sorry.
I'll do my best.
Fred slaps Rocker on the ass for some reason.
Okay.
Get your hands off of me, you filthy piece of trash.
It wasn't, it wasn't both my hands, it was one hand, but if you insist, Fred then slaps your ass with both hands.
Interdimensional handcuffs suddenly appear around Fred's hands that are unable to be broken even by the best dice rolls. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You need to calm the fuck down, Fred. You need to calm the fuck down.
And
I
what
know
if
it's
I
kinky,
don't?
but you...
Because this is fairly kinky and Fred gets another boner.
Okay, I'm just glad you're handcuffed right now. Because, like I said, well... Oh, dear.
As am I. Yeah, the sexual person is very glad of that, despite my number of sex jokes thing.
The doctor's merely sitting in a chair nearby. Okay, just take this. He hands you a small iPad-looking device. This is going to give you the locations and information on every single one of the Freds from the multi-Fredverse.
Fred grabs the iPad and smashes it.
What was that for, you nincompoop?
Okay. Continuing on with this, whatever it is. The doctor manages to set up his teleport to one of the first locales of the Freds. And what you end up seeing as the teleporter engulfs you from both sides. It appears the doctor wants you out of his lab as quickly as possible and sending you on your way. He activates the remote grab feature of the teleporter and manages to teleport all of you into the locale of the first Fred. And I know most of that was repetitious. It was. Shut up, doctor. I'm trying to work here. I'm trying to work. I've had a long... Who's ruffling?
My leg fell asleep. I'm sorry.
Ruffles have ridges. Okay. Oh, not sponsored. However, okay. So, what you need to do, and yes, I stuck a communicator in your ear when you weren't looking. You're welcome.
At least it's in his ear.
Fred has a very One Punch Man look on his face.
Death, get that smile off your jawbones.
I wasn't smiling. I was not smiling. That wasn't funny at all.
That
Okay.
smile is supposed to be saved.
I know.
Good.
Okay, we're gonna leave that off to the side. Okay. So, what you manage to see in front of you is some sort of fourth wall break dimension. It looks like a massive glass shard has suddenly landed in the middle of what appears to be a park somewhere that you're suddenly strutting around in. And on the other side of the shard, it's like looking through a mirror, but in a very bad way. The shard contains what appears to be an Egyptian replica of possibly a pharaoh from Egypt, with a bunch of beautiful girls lined up along the side with palm tree branches that are waving at a large individual sitting up atop a hill directly in a throne that is enshrined by all sorts of golden features and everything else. Okay then.
All right. Just because he's Fred is going to become stealthy.
You can never succeed at stealth unless you kill off Mr. Duck. But if you kill off Mr. Duck this time, would actually completely destroy everything to a point where even it can't be fixed from this.
I rolled a 12.
Okay, he managed to roll something.
You stealthed a 12?
10.
Okay. So you do indeed manage to find a bush nearby to stealth about in, but there's a lot of rustling, and some people tend to look around, but they don't notice anything. Plenty of people are bringing grapes into the area, and you can see this glass shard. It almost seems like a one-way mirror into this alternate dimension that appears to have landed directly in your front doorstep. Nobody inside seems to notice, though, so it's possible that you're kind of invading another dimension. Who knows?
All right. I'm just going to look to see what this creature, or what this pharaoh guy does with all the grapes and stuff.
My mind is going to two options as to what could be used for the grapes right now. Either the grapes could be being eaten, or they're being used as anal beads.
Oh, trust me, I'd already thought of that.
Oh, why?
Oh, dear. Yeah, oh yeah. That was already a thought that crossed through all of our heads. I'm pretty sure. Knowing Fred, that was probably in there too. Okay. You didn't seem to notice up until this point, Fred, but everyone has followed you into this bush. It's a very good thing. That can be taken any number of ways. Why am I like this? So, this wonderful... Maybe.
Yeah. No. Blah. Words. Words aren't working now. Sorry. Ignore me.
Okay, I'll fix the words later. Or are we fixing them now?
Okay, I'm going to sit down now.
So this wonderful technical difficulties, and yes, I'm watching. With all these wonderful technical difficulties aside, you notice that everyone's stepping up and offering grapes to this individual above the throne. Everyone's walking up very slowly, steadily, placing their baskets around the individual and starting to walk off. What you then see, in a moment of a flash of lightning, the entire dimension becomes incredibly dark, and everyone starts bowing down to the object on the throne. When a strike of lightning blazes through the air, strikes the individual atop the throne, and transforms them into some kind of muscled, hulking beast. that merely sits there for a few moments. You see it rising up with these large, tensed muscles. And then it just sits down and starts eating grapes one at a time. It appears to be very fearsome, but other than its ability to eat grapes very gently, it doesn't seem to be threatening.
Okay. I'm going to look at the individuals who are giving him grapes to see what they look like.
They all appear to be of very ancient Egyptian in descent. They have a very interesting look about them, and they all wear the same facial tattoos, markings, and clothes of the times, but
Okay.
it appears that the entire thing is some sort of rift in space and time.
Alright, I have an idea that might be able to find Fred. Marco!
And indeed, you attract all of the attention in the surrounding area to the bush. Not a single polo is to be heard. So at this point in time, you manage to look up into the sky as you hear another thunder crack, and you glance over to the side just in time. The entire party does, to see this very swole grape-eating thing glaring with lightning eyes in your direction. And the grapes around it begin to hover into the air, and a hail of polo shirts begin raining down onto your head.
Fred says, Polo?
And then is buried promptly under a massive hailstorm of balled-up polos. They don't really hurt, they're just kind of uncomfortable to walk on.
Ow! What's the deal, man?
You asked for it.
No, I said...
Why am I buried in polo shirts?
Because Fred asked for it.
Oh, okay, what's going on? Can somebody describe to me the surroundings? Preferably somebody that's not Fred.
You know, this is actually kind of turning me on.
Everything turns you on, Fred. I'm sorry. I'm
He
going to have
asked
to
for
look
polo
that.
shirts.
I don't think he did. That's not what I heard. I heard him yell Marco. Oh.
Yes.
Yes, that's the letter O, Doctor. You can stop saying it now.
Okay, you guys really need to fix this fourth wall so I don't have to constantly voice everybody and myself.
You asked for it, Pipsqueak. You came up with the story.
I know! I'm trying to fix it. And
And
instead
also-
I'm getting able-be grape men that get hit by lightning and turn into swole beasts with polo powers. I'm trying to fix this. Okay.
And so I can actually be decent at being me and my character because voices.
Now Fred
Voice.
pokes his head out of the polo shirts and says to the beast, Daddy?
And all of a sudden the sky starts raining dads. Not yours, just random men that are dads.
Wait, regular dads or sugar dads?
It's raining man!
Oh no!
What? Regular dads or sugar daddies?
As it begins raining men, per the song. Hopefully not. Please don't. Oh no, he's gonna play it anyway.
It's gotta start raining man. It's a raining man. Hallelujah, it's raining man. Amen, it's raining man.
Okay, so it's just random dads. Thanks for that wonderful music, Mr. Duck.
Yes.
And possibly Fred. I think it was more Fred that would do that. As polo shirt and dads are still falling all about you, most of the dads are dying on impact, so you might want to stop this sometime soon.
Fred has another idea.
Oh no. Please no more Fred ideas.
Dildos.
Have something else have...
Dildos.
Of course that's your idea, you nincompoop. And now we're gonna have more dildos stuck to golden butter.
Dildos.
I'm okay with that. Oh no.
Well, he only needs one.
Would the rest of you look up, please? I don't want these stuck to me. I know they say anything can be used for dildos, but a bunch of cactuses begin raining from the sky.
Oh. I see us hiding.
Fred is highly
Everyone.
Fred is highly enjoying himself with this. He then proceeds to say more random things.
I suggest everyone except for Fred hiding and someone duct taping Fred's mouth shut.
Everyone
Duct
is
tape!
sprinting around trying to find cover.
Fred,
And then again, duct tape begins falling from the sky.
pie, cake, ice cream, mom, daddy. Tigers!
Really? One more die?
Lions, tigers, bears, sunglasses, Mr. Ducks, rockers, Zyrinthians, deaths, and Freds, and other ball-like things, and Purell, and staples, and spoons, and forks, and knives, and mouses.
Across this landscape, the sand blows as multiple dead bodies, cutlery, pastries, and more dead bodies are littered across the entire area. Only a few survivors are seen wandering off in polo shirts, trying to bandage their injuries. The entire surrounding landscape is covered in people who probably are just too mangled to move anymore because, well, they literally can't die because Death can't do his job, thanks to Fred. As more people wander across...
A lot of deaths.
Fred now really likes what's happening, so he goes over to the Egyptian people and starts killing them. Apparently, Fred is now going on a killing rampage.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop you right there, because I don't know how you got out of those interdimensional handcuffs you were put in, but you clearly need more. Now, Fred, I need you to listen to me. Okay?
Fred looks at Death half-assedly.
Okay.
Pay attention when Death talks, you idiot.
Okay, first of all, stop digging cactuses into that man's eyes. Secondly, I want you to make sure that that thing over there, whatever it was, is not one of the U's that we're supposed to be finding. Okay? You have to focus. I know you don't like to, but you have to focus now.
All throughout that entire thing, Fred has just been imagining a monkey with symbols, clashing them together.
Oh dear. I'm going to have to do this myself, aren't I?
Probably so.
Somehow I'm becoming the main character of this story. Okay.
Death starts walking
keep
over.
me in character.
Thanks, dear.
Fred begins to fade into the distance as Death walks over to the large throne atop a large pile of semi-dead bodies.
Okay, let's see what we have here. Fred, you finding anything? I don't know why I'm asking.
Fred pulls out a fully automatic plasma machine gun and starts shooting at the figure.
Okay. You have not rolled for shit in the longest time. You don't know where the object is. Everything is covered and littered in multiple bodies and other objects and pastries thanks to you. So, let's just go ahead and see. You don't know where this thing is. I'll roll and see if you hit it, but let's see.
Okay.
You rolled an 8.
Damn.
As you manage to fire randomly with this plasma launcher around the entire area, this machine gun seems to do very little, except mangle the bodies even more, and as they can't really die, most of them are screaming in pain. You haven't already vaporized their lungs. These random pot shots aren't doing much, and Death is once again facepalming in the background, and you see Golden Butter rubbing himself on random individuals. You manage to look over, and all of a sudden the ground, or pile of bodies rather, begins to quake. And the very swole thing leaps out of a hole in the ground that it just made. The thing doesn't speak. It simply stands there and stares at you all, blinking.
Fred shoots it with the plasma thing.
All of a sudden it appears to be about 5 feet to the left of where you were just aiming.
Damn.
It's still standing there blinking at you.
Did you actually... Did everyone else see that?
I did. I was watching all of it. Okay, this is getting weird. Fred, mind trying again?
Okay, I'll try for a headshot.
And actually hitting.
I'll try for a headshot. 4.
Again, the thing seems to be down lower, as if it were almost kneeling at this point in time. Still, it's just staring at you.
What?
10.
Okay, why are you trying to kill the thing, first of all? Okay,
Another blast of plasma flies through the air. Again, the thing relocates as if by magic.
This thing is smarter than you, Fred. Come up with a better plan. Preferably one that isn't help. Oh wait, that's all you can manage!
I hate you. And that's Mr. Duck saying that. Okay.
Now that we've got that out of the way, you can leave your interpersonal problems for outside this dimension, please?
All right, so Z, he's gonna pull out the first thing he sees in the magic satchel, okay? And use it on the bad guy.
Okay. The first thing he manages to find is a packet of gum that appears to have a fuse on the side of it. Okay, we're going for more food-based weapons, apparently.
All right, so Fred shoves the gum in his mouth, chews it for a little bit, and then spits it at the entity.
Oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. It appears the fuse was there because this was some kind of experimental explosive device, and you hear a large go off in Fred's mouth as you see flames start shooting out the corners of it. He seems completely undeterred, however, and spits the contents thereof in the direction of the entity. Fire gouts out in every direction around his mouth, and it appears that his teeth are a bit worse for wear, but he doesn't seem to be very harmed, being Fred. And the entity is gone?
Where did it go?
I don't know. I just said it was gone. I have other things in mind, Death, but...
Oh, okay, it's not dead, I know that much.
Again, would you manage to look behind you right now?
I do so.
The entity's just standing there, looming over you. May I mention this thing's about 10 feet tall and swole as hell? It's still just standing there blinking at you.
All right, so what? So
It's busy hiding behind the
all right,
desk.
so what's the second thing I can? What? Okay, so all right, so what do I see in my surrounding?
You see a bunch of dead bodies, and barely off in the distance, a bunch of buildings that managed to escape being buried by whatever this entity is calling out of the sky. So it appears that addressing this thing causes it to rain whatever you talk about, or some related item in its surrounding area, just by speaking to it.
Okay. All right. So Fred continues just to stare at the entity.
A long staring match ensues. The entity very slowly blinks one eye. And then it very slowly blinks the other.
All right.
Slowly blinks the other eye.
Okay. Hold on.
Slowly blinks the other eye.
Shush. Shush. Shush.
The entity continues loudly blinking by saying what I'm saying over and over again. It has apparently, we're just going to call this the loud blink monster, because it does appear to blink back and forth in a very rapid fashion, and it appears to be blinking quite well and loudly.
Okay, so I have no idea what to do here. Let's see. You know, I have an idea. I'm gonna call the doctor up on the fourth wall phone. No. Actually, better yet, I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text the doctor on the fourth wall phone and ask him if he can open up a portal under this thing, so that we can like find out what it is at his place, at his doctor office place. I can't speak today. My brain is fried.
Okay, this is the episode where words are broken, just so you know.
Yeah.
As you manage to type into your fourth wall phone the message that you want of creating a portal underneath it, you notice that you have no service. It appears that, like you said, this thing runs off of fourth wall energy, and you broke the fucking fourth wall. So this has got no reception right now.
Oh, shit.
That's the reason that the doctor gave you the communicator. However, thankfully, he can hear everything I'm saying, and he knows what you want him to do. Listen, right now, Mr. Duck, I can't barely do anything related to the fourth wall or anything very sciencey related, because everything that you just did in the last episode kind of broke most of my equipment. The teleporter was in my pocket. That's the only reason it's not totally broken. So
Right.
you're kind of on your own for now.
Damn it.
May I suggest something?
What?
May I suggest just going up to it and kind of rubbing it a little bit?
Please do it, golden butter. Just
I
golden
don't
butter.
think-
Don't you dare touch it.
Why would you say that?
I'm just trying to make content here. This is the episode where words are broken. I might as well not give a fuck. I'm sorry, Dad.
Fred goes over to the entity and starts rubbing it.
It doesn't appear to move away from this. In fact, it could be blinking faster.
Fred continues to pet it.
Its eyes begin blinking at a speed that the human mind can only comprehend, just barely.
Can someone else rub it? Because this is kind of disturbing. Someone else rub this thing.
Gladly. Golden Butter begins running over there in his squishy little footsteps and begins moisturizing the monster's legs by rubbing up against them vigorously.
Everybody rub it. Everybody rub it. Mr. Duck starts rubbing it too.
Keep your hands off
Death.
it, Jeff.
I want to help, but at the same time, this is something I want no part of. You don't have to worry about me touching this thing. By the way, I'm pretty sure I'd kill it if I did so, yeah.
Good.
As you see everyone else gather around, even the doctor teleports there to very reluctantly rub on the thigh of this thing. That sounds wrong. This sounds so wrong.
You're telling me! You're the one saying it!
Okay, Man, critics are everywhere. Okay. Okay. So, this thing now begins blinking at such a speed that you can actually hear it blinking, which slowly morphs into a loud hum until the entire head of the creature explodes, revealing a cavernous thing on the inside. Very cavernous, gelatinous mass. And what do you do as it falls over onto its side, exposing this cavern to everybody?
I put it in my magic
That
satchel.
just sounds wrong!
I put it in my magic satchel.
You attempt to force this thing in there. You manage to get it almost all the way in before a fist comes flying out of your magic satchel, followed by a body, then the rest of the body of this thing. But the fist doesn't belong to the body. Instead, it belongs to what was operating this giant meaty vessel. It appears to be a very swole and very naked Fred. I'm so glad to be out of there. Okay, so who wants to get humped?
My Fred takes out a deagle and shoots him in the head.
Oh, okay, let's roll for that. It's just Fred v. Fred time.
6.
Versus team. Again, the bullet is merely bouncing off of his head. It appears he's very covered in some sort of goo, so this merely ricochets off his skull. Ow, that fucking hurt. Why are you trying to shoot me? I was being worshipped. There were sexy girls giving me grapes that I was going to use as anal beads, but I was just, okay. When I was inside that thing, I was kind of, with it eating them, was it feeding them to me so I could shove them up my asshole?
Yeah, no one's surprised there.
I know, I'm sorry.
My Fred takes out a laser flamethrower and begins to laser the other Fred.
Fuck no, fuck no, fuck no.
Okay, roll for that.
19.
Versus an 18. You do indeed manage to laser the other Fred directly in what area did you want to hit?
Like, literally everywhere.
So it's
Okay,
dead.
his everywhere is lasered, including his dick. Oh, that's the last time I let you laser someone's everywhere. Okay, everywhere is better than the...
a human shield. Full death shield.
Okay, even though there's no recoil generated by lasers, it appears that the gelatinous covering on top of this opposing Fred is enough to absorb this shock and send him flying backwards through piles of dead bodies, ripping them in half as he goes along, and embedding him in the side of one of the pyramids that you look up and somehow just now noticed was a pyramid with Fred's face on it. Okay, that was there. He manages to dig himself out of this pyramid, very stunned, and all of a sudden lightning begins to strike in the immediate area.
Oh.
You bitch, that hurt! Okay, now I'm just going to use the fourth ball. Yeah, it's kind of broken. Did you break this?
Yes.
He broke it.
Shit. Okay, well, basically to tell everyone what's happening is my power as a Fred, because I know I'm part of the Fred multiverse, because fuck you, that's why, is I have the ability to make things rain whatever I want. It's just that I get so incredibly beefy and meaty and sexy from shoving grapes up my ass that I just get so big I can't control my powers anymore. So everyone thought I was a god because they could ask whatever they wanted up from me. So just die, motherfucker. all of a sudden, a giant lightning bolt comes blazing out of the sky, attempting to hit Fred directly in the chest.
I want to dodge out of the way, and I roll an 8 because I'm bad.
Okay, whatever duck is in the opposing universe is also sucking ass today because he rolls a 6.
Oh, yes!
The dodge roll does indeed work, and there is a nice molten crater where you used to be a few seconds ago. I said die, motherfucker! Okay, well...
Fred takes out a rubber glove along with a lightning javelin and throws it at the other Fred. And says, "Two can play at that game."
Boys, can you not just get along nicely?
Shut up!
I'm too busy still rubbing him. You just now notice that Golden Butter is still rubbing the other Fred down from the side.
Hey, I approve of that part.
Oh, no.
Get along.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Oh, God. Oh, motherfucker.
What?
I'll type it out in Discord. It's that bad.
Okay.
Serious?
I'll take a screenshot.
Interesting fact.
Yes.
Look in Discord. Appears that both Freds have managed to roll a 1. So breaking the fourth wall here, which is still utterly shattered. I don't know why I'm saying I'm still breaking it. Both of the Freds suddenly merge into one. The shattered dimension of glass that it is ends up breaking and flinging Fred and his companions back out into their own dimension. And it appears that Fred is now radiating with some sort of intense energy.
Huh.
Well, at least the boys are forced to get along now.
I wasn't done rubbing, though.
You can rub me, Fred says.
Okay, you do realize I'm having to listen to all of this over your voice communicator, right?
Oh, you can join in too, Doctor. Just hop on in.
I don't want to.
Please!
I don't want to.
Yes! Yes!
Rocker, you're getting too excited over this. You should watch more porn.
And we're back from that. So it appears that, like I said, Fred is radiating with some sort of power. So since I'm here, and I kind of came up with this plot on the spot, it appears that Fred now has the ability to call down whatever he wants out of the sky as just a natural power now. Only problem is if he put grapes up his ass, he might get too swole. So it appears that he can absorb the power of the other Fred.
Fred says dildos.
Oh no, not more dildos! We do not need more dildos!
Okay, it appears that this power is also very specific, much like the fourth wall power, as it begins raining literally anything that is small enough to be shoved up somebody's ass. And it appears that you were indeed in the middle of Central Park, where this shard was. So now it is raining a bunch of small insertable objects in the middle of Central Park.
Fred starts laughing maniacally.
And we leave off with my wonderful rendition of It's Raining Men. It's raining dildos! Oh yeah! It's raining dildos! And that is all for this time, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, whatever the fuck this was, of Roleplay Radio, this time with Nat 1s and Freds and raining insertable objects.
And we have no idea what it was!
So, as always, until video number next, stay cool and classy, you morons.